Hey guys, welcome back to my 2009 Mini Cooper. I'm getting a brake light, so let's try to track down where that light's coming from. It's not from the parking brake, because I can put the parking brake down and the light's still there. So you check the fluid, pop your hood on the right side. There it is. All these little doors always break off. This one and the battery one. So I just use some foil tape to make a hinge. So let's look in there. And my fluid's fine. So we don't think it's low on fluid. So the next is to check the brake pads. So it's the middle of November, it's a little chilly out. So I got my heater in the garage running. And that's I did a video on this DeWalt propane heater. Took the wheels off, got it on jack stands. I think on one of my other videos I show how to do that. Kind of use a piece of wood with a hydraulic jack, put it underneath the middle portion here, jack it up, put some jack stands, and what comes in handy are these pucks. You can get these online. They fit right underneath where you need to jack it up, so that way you don't damage it. So these pucks come in really handy. So got the wheels off, and let's go see what tools we're going to need. So I know might need some cleaner to clean the brake rotors and brake components, brake parts lubricant, torque wrench, torque set. You're gonna need some wire brush, and you're gonna need some weird sizes. This is a 13 millimeter. I get a 13 millimeter here, and if you have it, you will need I believe a 17 millimeter. I have these thin ones, which comes in handy, and I'll show you why. I got these over at Home Depot, 6-piece thin head access wrench set, and they come metric and English mixed into them. Probably need a Phillips and some removal tools. And let's go take a look. Okay, here we are. One of the tools I forgot to mention you're going to need is a pair of pliers, because that you're going to need to pull out this. So the easiest way to pull that out is you go and grab it and use the pliers on the leverage right here on the edge, like that, and just pull straight out, and it comes right off. They hold the sensor, the low pad sensor, with the fill right here, so you can take it off that. And then this is where the odd numbers come in. You got the 13 right here, and the 17, 15. It's the 15 to hold it if it starts to spin. This top one. Then go do the bottom one. Let's go ahead and take those bolts out. You see these bolts, they actually have Loctite on it a little bit there, the little blue. Then they say pull off the calipers, and if you have one of those caliper brake hangers, that's great, but if you don't, then you can just use a bungee cord. Okay, found my bungee cord. All I did was just loop it up on one of the coil springs.
If you struggle with CPAP, check out Inspire. No mask, no holes, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire is not for everyone. Touch
Pull off your caliper. Good, hang it up out of the way. There we go. So if you don't want to buy one of those funny ass springs, just use a bungee cord. Let's take a look at these pads. Let's go back down. So it's probably got on the outside pad 2 millimeters maybe. And you see how the outside pad has this cut out? And here's the inside pad, which is kind of odd because the inside pad usually wears faster, but this one looks like it almost has 4 millimeters. Okay, I actually found my calipers, so out of curiosity I'm going to go ahead and measure this. So it's at 5.44 millimeters, and the new brake pads I bought, they're made by Dynamic Friction Company, and I got the 5,000. They make a whole bunch of different numbered ones, 5,000, 8,000, whatever, 4,000, 3,000. So I got the 5,000, balancing out performance and cost. So the new ones are 11.48. So when it loses about 6 millimeters, that's when the sensor trips. Remember, this is where the clipped, you see it's right at the surface, flush with the sensor there. And here's the new one. So you see it sits much further in. So along with my kit, I went ahead and got the hardware for it. You can buy the pads without the hardware, so I'm just go ahead and change the hardware on it too. So you just go ahead and pull them off. Just one. Two. They're both identical, so I don't think there's a top and bottom on these. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a wire brush, do some cleaning. There's one video where they took off the whole thing, the mounting too, by taking off these other ones in back, but I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean it with a wire brush, and then put on the new clips with some grease. Okay, done cleaning it a little bit with the wire brush, so I'm gonna go ahead and use some brake lube. I'm gonna goes this way for the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit here, so you're gonna get that squeakiness. Make sure you don't get it onto your rotors. There it goes. Then what you need to do is go ahead and pull out your pins, clean off your pins, put some new grease on it, and push them back in. Okay, cleaned off my pin. I don't see any corrosion on it. So I'll just go ahead and put some new grease on it and slide it back in. Make sure you get this little rubber gasket thing over the edge. It'll lock right in. You see, then it slides just like that. Pull out the bottom one. Clean off the old grease. Check for corrosion. I don't see any. Make sure that little gasket goes over the edge here to keep the dust out. So that's changing that. I am actually going to go ahead and change out this. They recommend changing that out. So I got a new one. So to be able to do that, I got to take off the inner lining here a little bit. So let me change camera position and lighting. Okay, I'm about to take out, not take it out, but I could probably pull it back a little bit. The connector for the sensor runs back behind this. These are actually 2 halves, so you only need to remove the front half. So basically you're just going to need a screwdriver and some trim tools to, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 that I need to take out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and be right back. Okay, it's actually one big piece, but what I did is I just took off the front one, and to be able to do that you need to take out a whole bunch of these, which is, and you'll probably break a few, so it's good to have a few on hand to replace them. And if you need to replace them, these are .37 inches or 10 millimeters diameter. So you need to take out a whole bunch of those. And the tricky one is there's 2 underneath the bottom that holds the splash shield or wheel thing in. Then on top there's 1 torque screw that needs to be taken out, and that uses a T27, I believe, or at least T27 fits to take it out. And then once you get that off, you go ahead and clip it off the ABS cable. Like that. Then here's the sensor, and it slides onto a holder. Let's do the one on the outside. Don't get it on your pad. There you go. Probably need to push the cylinder back in, so keep an eye on your fluid. It'll go up. Okay, this is the type I have. I saw another guy on another video. He had this one with a ratchet. That was kind of cool. But mine, you need to put a pad in its place. so that way you have a surface to push on. Gotta push these in a little bit to be able to slide this back on. These pistons. Okay, I'm gonna get my torque wrench. Go ahead and set my torque wrench. Go ahead and bolt these back down. So remember, that's 13 millimeters. At least it is on mine. This one is turning as I'm trying to torque it. So, gotta hold it. So, I'll torque the bottom one. Connector back in the holder, slide it in. Now these don't seem like they're in there very good, so I'm going to zip tie it. Got one connector snaps here, two of them up here. Then you got that little tie thing with the little thing that goes through the hole that holds it on there. And to get that to go through the hole, I just use a small screwdriver to push it through. The bleed cap, make sure you put it back over there, and then you just go ahead and slide that onto the pad. This is pretty cool. This is the old one, and you can see two little pieces of metal right there. So it makes me think that it looks for continuity. So there's normally a piece of metal connecting these two. So when it wears away, it breaks it open, and then you get an open signal. And if you look at the new one, you don't see that. So basically, you're just gonna push it into the slot. You gotta push it and make sure until you get a nice click in there, that it's in there nice and tight. If you're putting a new sensor in, it's gonna be tighter, fit in there, than the old one. So there it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel well splash shield back on, and go ahead and do the other side. So that's how you change the front brakes and the low pad sensor. So you still need to clear the code here, so that way you clear the code. And there's other videos on how to do that. This video is already really long, so I'm just going to go ahead and end it here. So thanks for watching, and good luck on yours.